everyone, Dean from Real Estate Dynamics, and I've got Andrew Coronis with me today, and today's a pretty special one. I want to give you quickly a little snapshot that they have 26 offices, they've got 300 staff, they operate out about 8,000 odd properties, and I really think that Andrew's such a thought leader in this space, and I wanted to ask him what's going to happen with real estate over the next 3 years. Nice simple question for him.
Yeah, nice.
So what should we be doing? What should we be changing? How should we prepare? So I think if we just start with what are your thoughts over the next 3 years? It's been it's been a snappy year this year as far as changes.
Yeah,
what do you think is going to happen going forward?
Look, I'm lucky enough to be in real estate, and thanks very much for the interview, Dean.
You're welcome.
Hello to everybody. I'm lucky enough to be in real estate now for close to 30 years.
Yep.
So I've seen a lot of change.
Started very young, didn't you?
Yeah, I did start very young. Finished school and preferred the sporting field better than I did the academic room. So that's where I ended up in real estate, like most of us, to be honest. But I really do. I don't think there's been much change with technology in real estate. I think we're going to see a lot of that. We're going to see a lot of evolution. Nothing will change, and getting back to this, nothing will change it all ends in a phone call, whether it be property management, whether it be sales, whether it be finance. Customer service all ends in a phone call. I think we're a fair way away from digital disruption with regard to disintimidating a salesperson or a property manager. People like talking to people. They like communities. They like being involved in things. So if we can start on the premise that I honestly do believe everything ends in a phone call, it starts digitally though. And I think what we've got to get better as an industry is gestation of a client that isn't quite ready to transact now over a period of time. And we've analysed that to about 3 months or so. So when someone comes to an open for inspection and when someone's ready to sell, or if someone's ready to put their house up for rent, it's generally about 2 to 3 months before they're ready to transact that they're analysing you, they're looking at every opportunity they can of what you're doing in the marketplace, and they're rating you against everybody else. And then at about the 3 month mark, someone's got to be talking to them at the right point so that they allow you to transact with you.
So they're road testing you in a way, 100%. In a virtual space,
it's
digitally,
right. I mean, I know everything about you more than you do by the time you look at Facebook, by the time you look at LinkedIn, by the time you look at your personal page and your company pages. There's not a great deal about each of us that people don't know. So that idea of privacy is all dead now, and you can't lie about your results.
There is no privacy.
Get over it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And in this space, the whole thing is you don't want to be private. You want to be out there. You want to be showing that you're part of that community.
Yes.
So if that's the case, then how do agents, for that example, differentiate themselves, or companies or brands differentiate if they are?
Yeah. Look, again, I think the big process we've got to get right is gestation, and I think that can be done digitally. You don't have to call people all the time when they're in gestation. When they're growing, when they're learning, our ability has to be able to give people information they need at that time. I truly do believe the best way to get someone to respect you and get someone to use you eventually is offer them support when they're vulnerable. Now, most people are vulnerable when they're starting when they're early gestation of renting their house out or putting their house for sale. They're vulnerable because they really don't know. So if we can give them information, quality information, and digitally as well, like we're doing here now, we are able to do that. They then get to know us digitally, so that when the opportunity comes and we're hitting them with a question about do you want to rent your house out or do you want to sell, they're more inclined to click yes, so that we have the opportunity to have the phone call when they're ready to transact.
So you talked about it vulnerable.
Yes.
Unpeel that. What do you mean by vulnerable?
Look, go and talk to a first home buyer, go and talk to a second home buyer, go and talk to anybody. They don't know what they're doing, and I don't know how to say this any other way. They're really scared shitless about what they're doing.
That's fine.
Is that all right?
Yeah.
And I don't care how many houses you've sold. I don't care how many houses you've rented out. The hardest thing to get right is who do I trust? Who's going to look after my interests? Because
there's a big word. Trust.
Yeah, 100%. And I believe our gestation period has to build trust, so that when we're sitting in front of them and we're talking about our fees, and we're more expensive than a lot of the other agencies are, and we're proud of that fact, is that they see the value in paying a good fee rather than having to deliver on the two big things on how much is my house worth to rent out and what you're going to charge. I think that's really not what business is all about. And consumers don't know any different at the moment, so that's what they've got to go to, because we're not giving them information to prove our value upstream.
That's a really good point, that they don't know any different, so the first thing they're going to ask is, what are your fees? And then they compare it. It's like walking up and down the street as far as, well, what's the fuel? Because we think everything else is the same. So, so you're differentiating yourself in a digital way. And you're developing in a virtual trust
Yes.
by stepping them through, by helping them answer the questions and helping them that you are that trusted advisor that's by their side to help them through. Because real estate, I agree with you 100%, is very much we only do it once, some people once in a lifetime. My parents just did it for the first time in 42 years. And it's such a huge thing that they don't do, and it is such a big ticket item.
Yes.
You brought the point up before about technology, and I think that the technology side is there to assist those that are in the industry, but not to hide behind, but be in front. And I think you made a perfect point with the conversation around the phone call. Starts or ends with that phone call, because you can do all sorts of emails and all sorts of blast out to social media, but nothing better than that phone call, is it?
Okay. I can't see, and I can never say never, but I honestly do believe that we're not going to see a transaction in real estate done without anybody talking to each other at some point. Someone's got to talk to somebody in the near future.
Yeah.
I've got close to the girls down at one of the lead generation companies, and what they do so well, they just take clients. And they've actually taken a space in the real estate market of charging 20 to 25% of our fees, which I think is actually silly, on the basis that they're actually just stating clients for us. And that's all they do so well. They ring clients and they're nurturing the clients. And a lot of agents, and I get it, agents want to catch and kill very quickly if they can. We all want to do that, don't we? That's what we love doing. We like
catch and kill.
We want to go into a live lead, whether it be sales or property management or finance for that matter, and we want to run in. We want to present ourselves the best we can. We want to do an excellent service technically about selling the house or renting the house out, and we want to go and move on to the next one. I believe sales and marketing for agencies and brands and individuals is where it's all going to be sitting. I'm not being disrespectful, but most agents do a pretty good job. Most property managers do a pretty good job. So to stand in front of people and say, I'm better than you, it's not a matter of doing that anymore. People won't believe you if you haven't given them information well upstream from when they need to
plan.
get it.
Well, okay, so that from that side of it, you don't see that there's going to be a great deal of disruption. There's even more that is going to be pointed back onto the property managers and the salespeople and the office as far as to help them through that process.
Yes.
Is there anything we're not seeing, going forward?
Oh, look, no, I do say that property management on the technical side of the actual delivery of service, I believe we'll see a great deal of disruption. I believe there's, you talk to most property managers, the one thing they really don't want to do is go and do periodic inspections, for example. I think it's the bane of most good property manager sites. They want to communicate, they want to solve problems for their owners, they want to solve problems for their tenants, but they really don't want to go and do walking out to houses all the time. And it's something we've got to fix in the industry. So we're looking, just personally, what I believe this is right, in my opinion, but it may not be right, is there's certain chunks of the property management you can break into different roles, and the idea being that different people do different roles, and with the technology of a phone now, you can get good inspections done. I think it's quite silly that we're not enabling people who are going to a house, like even a tradesperson, to do a video of the house while they're there to give you an idea of what's going on. It's not going to take them too long to do. No. I think eventually that we're going to have inspection officers who go out and inspect properties, and you have property managers who do the property management. We're going to have people who do release renewals. I think we're going to see a breaking up of the jobs very much.
Well, thank you very much for that. Thank you very much, Andrew. And look, if you've got any other questions, reach out via his LinkedIn link that he'd be happy to answer them.
Yeah, love to. Thank you.
Bye.